Whether you're a seasoned fly fisherman or a youngster just starting out, everyone loves catching large trout, which explains the enormous popularity of Vermont's Trophy Trout Program. The fish the state raises for these special opportunity waters are big and beautiful.
Fish on.
Rainbow?
Yep. I started fishing when I was 3 or 4. And probably one of the first times I went fishing was down here on the Winooski River. I'm 21 now, so some of my earliest memories fishing, fishing with a worm, just bouncing down along the bottom of the river and catching big trophy-sized fish. That got me hooked. Nice rainbow trout. So this is a hatchery fish. It's one of the trophy-sized fish they put in the Winooski River every year. Good 18, 19 inches. Really, really thick fish, from the head to tail, they're footballs, as you can see right there. It's a beautiful fish. People even come out of state to come fish for these trophy stocked fish. And you can see why. I mean, they fight awesome, they're beautiful fish, and they're a lot of fun to catch.
There we go. As a fishing guide and native of the Waterbury area, Parker Wright knows this section of the Winooski River well. Since the Vermont Fish and Wildlife Department began the Trophy Trout Program in 1994, the Winooski and a growing list of waters have developed a well-earned reputation for producing large trout.
Beautiful fish.
Once you catch one of these big trout, it's easy to understand the popularity of the Trophy Trout Program, which involves stocking fish that are raised an extra year in state hatcheries. But it began almost as an afterthought.
What a nice looking trout.
In 1993, we developed a trout management plan, and that really focused on a need and a desire to focus more on wild trout management. At the same time, we had constructed the Ed Weed fish hatchery, and as part of that, for the visitation, had developed some larger fish for folks to come in and view and feed. That also provided an opportunity for us to use those fish for stocking. Our trout team got together and thought developing a dedicated program with those fish would make sense. And what we did was we selected 4 streams that could support large fish for a reasonable amount of time and kind of created this new type of fishery that's been really well received.
The first trophy trout waters were on 2 to 5 mile long sections of the Otter Creek and Winooski, Lamoille, and Black Rivers. One of the criteria for the waters selected was that they have good public access, which was a smart move because they immediately proved immensely popular.
The program drew a lot of people, people from out of state and local people. In fact, we saw declines in local fisheries because people were concentrating on these waters.
In response to the program's popularity, it has steadily expanded and now includes sections of East Creek and the Missisquoi, Passumpsic, and Walloomsic rivers, along with more than 24 lakes and ponds. It's part of a broader management approach that emphasizes a mix of quality angling experiences.
We're really looking to create a diversity of fishing opportunities, not just the same old thing. So we have our wild fisheries where we don't stock, and in some cases use special regulations to manage those. We have our yearling stockings, and then this is, another opportunity for people to have a different experience. A lot of folks come out here and enjoy these fish, and it's well worth the shift in our production.
Fish on.
Anglers may keep up to 2 fish a day on trophy trout waters, and there are no restrictions on tackle or bait. Anyone who can cast a fly or a worm has the chance to catch these large, beautiful fish.
These waters are managed with a 2-fish limit, and the intent of that was really to spread the catch among anglers, try to lengthen the season that these fish are available. And what we've actually found is there's a high rate of catch and release going on here. Based on our surveys, that we're actually catching more fish than we're stocking, so we're seeing a recycling of these fish.
Yeah,
I mean, what a great place to introduce someone.
one fish like that's gonna get someone hooked for the rest of their life on fly fishing.
Yeah. Somebody caught that on bait, hooked it deep,
Clip it as close.
and they did the right thing. If you've got a gut-hooked, bait-caught fish, leave the hook in it, release the fish with as little stress as you can, And we just took a little bit of the snow off here. I'm gonna let you release him. Pretty fish. Heavy, good color. The fins are in good shape.
Yeah, the tail.
Tail's in great shape.
And there he
And off he goes. Well done.
Early season trout fishing in Vermont's not always epic fishing. Usually, you know, when the state starts stocking a lot of the rivers, the trophy stretch of the Winooski River, that gets a lot of attention, and a lot of guys get really excited. They know they can come down to this stretch of the Winooski River and have a good chance at catching a big fish.
Strong, strong fish. You can get a wrist cramp here if you're not careful.
Oh, that's a nice
Look at
one.
the colors on them. Is it just my sunglasses or are these fish outrageously colored?
Most of the trout that we caught were big, beautiful rainbows, but we also tied into some hard-fighting browns. Trophy brook trout are also stocked in some of the lakes and ponds.
There's one. Decent one.
Doubled up.
More than once, we both had fish on at the same time, even though it had been weeks since the Winooski received its final stocking of the 2016 season. A common misconception is that all of these trout are caught within a few weeks of being put in the river.
Yeah, absolutely.
But we netted about a dozen fish apiece in only a couple of hours, and we had the water almost entirely to ourselves.
Well, these waters will hold this fishery for, at least till early July. Most of the rivers do have some colder tributaries that'll, hold the fish for a little while longer. As temperatures cool in the fall, it's certainly worth coming back here and giving it another try.
Gave me a face full of water there. Look at the girth on this thing. Good Lord. No wonder he made some good runs. That is a solid 3-pound rainbow. Real tribute to Vermont's hatchery system. Usually a fish this large, raised that long in a hatchery, you're gonna see a lot more fraying on the fins.
On most rivers, catching just one trout this large would make for a fantastic season.
There's one.
But if you time it right, the trophy trout waters can produce several such fish in the course of just one day. Either way, you will want to come back for more.
This is a good fish.
Each year, about 20,000 trophy trout are stocked in waters statewide, which are listed on the Vermont Fish and Wildlife Department's website.
That's a big rainbow. Wow.
Rainbow, yeah, that's a nice chunker.
Nice job.
This is a big landing net. You could use a bigger landing net. That's another 3-pounder.
I enjoy coming back here for nostalgic reasons. As early as I can remember, I've been fishing this stretch of the Winooski River primarily after they stocked it with the trophy trout. And especially when I was a lot younger, being successful helped get me more into it and get me more hooked.
Memories like that'll keep you coming back to a place for your whole life, and this is one of those places for me.